In my dream school, I think all of my activities would be outdoors. I would build a jungle gym that goes towards the ceiling and then up the roof, and then I would build a slide that goes all the way down. Maybe I would have my science classes be about combining different animals. So we would have a bird with the legs of a cheetah so it can run really fast on the ground and then fly really high up. What else is there? My PE classes, they would all be centered around this gigantic pool that is, of course, a sphere. Now, how would that work? I have absolutely no idea. But it's a really cool thing to think about. What your school might look like if you were the designer. If we didn't have to listen to the laws of physics or even gravity, what could we do? We could build a school that looks completely different than the school that we're used to. Today, we're gonna get into a book called If I Built a School by Chris Van Dusen. And it explores what if this little kid was to build a whole school for himself. Let's go through some of the floor plans we have going on here. Instead of walking to school, the school walks you. So the school walks all the way to someone's house and then all the way back to the school. There's a pool on the roof of the school, lots of windows, a helicopter pad, because who doesn't need that? A treehouse school, an ABC school, or A to Z school. Do any of these schools sound great to you? I really like the fantastic underwater school. I'm leaning towards that one. Think about the kind of school you want to build. We're going to go through some of the pages. I'm going to show you some of the things that our little main character decided to bring to life, and then we're going to design one class of our own. If I Built a School by Chris Van Dusen. Jack, on the playground, said to Miss Jane, "This school is okay, but it's pitifully plain. The builder who built this school, I think, should be banned. It's nothing at all like the school I have planned. If I built a school, the first thing you'd meet are lots of cute puppies. They'd flock to your feet. But why stop at puppies? Why not a whole zoo? So I'd add a bunch of big animals too." So we see a little bit of everything. We have a camel, we have a panda, we have a giraffe, we have an elephant. Oh, so many different animals and a lot of puppies. Right off the lobby, to get to your class, I'd set up a system of tubes made of glass. You hop in a pod, press the number, then zoom. In under 10 seconds, you're right at your room. Now come see your classroom. Isn't it grand? That free-floating platform is where you would stand. And using a stylus, you'd write in the air. No blackboard, no whiteboard, no nothing is there. Your words just appear and they magically glow. Don't ask how this works, because I really don't know. But you're not the only one floating around. Check out the desks. They don't touch the ground. These are my hover desks. See how they glide? They even have bumpers in case you collide. In my kind of classes, we wouldn't have tests. I'd liven things up with some hologram guests. Here are some samples of what I've been thinking. You might meet a T-Rex or Abraham Lincoln. The library is next, so let's have a look. You won't find your everyday regular book. These books come alive when removed from the racks. They pop up like pop-ups, but pop to the max. And if you're not quite sure what a book is about, you'll find out very quickly when something pops out. So we see Jack and the Beanstalk, and the Beanstalk is just popping out of the book. And Jack's right here. This one's a spaceship. I think that's about something about spaceships. So these are just some classrooms in Jack's school. What kind of classroom or what kind of school would you build? I think I'm going to design an underwater school. So come with me as I design an underwater school, and I want you to design something super cool as well. A kind of your own school, per se. You can even name it after yourself. And we would have a bunch of different really cool schools. And we could even include some of the craziest inventions you could think of. So let's go ahead and create our own school. So I started with an underwater school, as I've written right here. And I'm going to show you one class from the underground school that I really like. So this is my underwater school. As you can see, all of these different underwater creatures and a dome to protect us, non-water breathing animals. I'm gonna show you one class from this underwater school. So I'm gonna start by drawing the water like this. Ooh, the big waves. And then I'm going to draw something really awesome. I think it's really cool. I'm gonna draw a little capsule, and this is my underwater science class. So these little ships are meant to represent the little things that we can ride on in the water, like this. So for example, this is my friend, his name is Jake, and he is driving this car. How cool is that? And because his favorite color, like mine, is blue, he's in a blue capsule. And for my other friend, her name is Stella, I put her inside of the pink capsule because that's her favorite. So we're gonna do a little drawing like this. And they're currently outside studying the gigantic squid. Oh, Stella can be pink too, because Stella, I guess, drank some pink potion earlier during her lunchtime. So Stella's right now in a pink little, I don't know what you call these, because I know if we were in space, I'd just call them space pods, but I don't think that's an apt name for an underwater pod. So how about we call them submarines? But I think they're a little cooler than submarines, so what should we call them? If you have any good name ideas, please leave them below so I can read and name them the way that they deserve to be named. I think this one should be a really poppin' color. We're gonna go in with this pink color right here to color in the bottom part. So these are all of the little technical stuff that keeps her afloat. I don't know what they are, but they just make sure that she can have all the oxygen she needs to breathe underwater during her expedition. They're all going right now to study the giant squid, which I need to draw in the background. Let me draw, what color should a giant squid be? I think it'd be brown. Or a really nice deep purple. How's that? Look at this giant squid. Look at that. So, one of my really big fears when I was a little child was of a giant squid. So this is actually really fun to draw, to make sure that I make this giant squid look as friendly as possible, with a big smile. Oh, his eyes are a little blocked out, but we draw these, and then I give him another big arm so he can wave to all my friends in their little spaceships, Jake and Stella. I want to make sure that these kids are getting the best education possible in the little underground school. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's how many a giant squid should have. And I forgot to color in my little friend's spaceship, so let's do that now. I wonder what your school looks like. Does your school also exist underwater, or is it in space? Is it time traveling? So can your school go back in time, forward in time? Is your school completely made out of crayons, for example? Or do you have a school built off of macaronis? Because that'd be really nice. I'm craving some pasta right now. Or maybe some of you guys have schools that can float whenever or jump super, super high. Maybe your school's in a savanna or the desert. Maybe your school can always go on safaris because it's this huge car thing. So here is a science class in my underwater school. Not only do you get to explore a giant squid, you get to do so in your own capsule pod, specially designed just for you with your favorite color. That's a day in my underwater school. I hope you had so much fun creating your little school with me too. I just can't wait to hear about all the different kind of schools you build. But this is my underwater school. Thank you guys so much for coming with me again today and coloring and designing your own school with me. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!